Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Brits on this one. And we have this first article from The Guardian. British spies were first to spot Trump's team's links with Russia. Very interesting. And remember, this article is more than 2 years old. Yep, it is. So keep that in mind as we look at this a little bit. The GCHQ is British intelligence, and it's said to have alerted U.S. agencies after becoming aware of contacts in 2015. Now remember, this is from 2017, so this is a while back. Yep, definitely, but it's coming back around again. And this just is pointing out that, the GCHQ first became aware of in late 2015 of suspicious interactions between figures connected to Trump and known or suspected Russian agents. A source close to UK intelligence said. Notice, unnamed source, by the way. This intelligence was passed to the U.S. as part of a routine exchange of information. Routine exchange of information. Now, do you know what Five Eyes is? Well, Five Eyes was a coalition of 5 countries that all had laws that prohibited them from spying on their own citizens without warrants. So, how did they get around that? Well, they spied on each other's citizens. And then when somebody needed something on one of their citizens, instead of getting a warrant, they would go to the other countries in the Five Eyes Alliance, and they would end up getting the information from them. Yep, that's what they were doing. And I have a video on that, so you can watch that and find out more about the Five Eyes program and what was going on there. And it also will shed a little bit of light as to why the security clearances being revoked was a very important step. So anyway, I want to get back to this. And, GCHQ was really involved in this, and they were doing us such a favor by pointing this out, that the Trump campaign had these suspicious interactions. Yeah. So when we talk about this whole Russian collusion thing, and you want to know where it came from, well, I'm not saying it came from the Brits, okay? I'm real sure it didn't, but they were part of it at the ground level, okay? And one of the things we know about that is that right after Trump was inaugurated, this guy right here, who was their chief, Robert Hannigan, quit. And it was a surprising resignation. In fact, his own people didn't expect it. And look at what it says here. The director of GCHQ, Robert Hannigan, is to stand down early for personal reasons, mainly health issues involving his wife and other family members. Hannigan only took over at the UK's surveillance agency in November 2014 to oversee a more open approach after revelations by the National Security Agency whistleblower Edward Snowden put GCHQ on the defensive in 2013. His sudden resignation, he informed staff just hours before making this decision public, prompted speculation that it might be related to British concerns over shared intelligence with the U.S. in the wake of Donald Trump becoming president. I like the way they put that. Shared intelligence. Yeah, they were spying on us. They were using the Brits to spy on American citizens for them, including Trump. So this is something that was very interesting, the timing of his resignation. Like I said, this came out on Monday, January 23rd. I believe that was actually right after Trump was inaugurated. I think he was inaugurated on the 20th or 21st. And yeah, so this was right after. I mean, just out of the blue, he just suddenly decided, you know what? I'm going to step down. So anyway, and something very interesting about this is this guy has some ties. Now, this was in July of that same year of 2017. And guess what? This was Aspen Security Forum, and the confirmed speakers, looky who we got here. Robert Hannigan. Right there he was, outgoing Government Communications Headquarters Director, the GCHQ. And if we go down just a little bit further, look who else we have here. Oh, goodness. U.S. Representative for California's 28th Congressional District and House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence ranking member, Adam Schiff. I wonder what those guys did over that little, conference. Think they talked to each other? Very interesting. Anyway, let's go on. This is a Daily Caller report that came out after Trump put out the declaration that he was going to declassify the FISA warrant. All of a sudden, he gets hit by a couple of our allies. And they were people in the Five Eyes. Yep, they were. So what did he do? Well, it says he backtracked, but he didn't really backtrack. I think he knew that they were going to give him some flack on it. It appears that he knew he wasn't going to declassify it at the time, but he wanted to put it out there. I think it was like kind of trap for him. And as soon as he said that, all of a sudden they went bananas. I mean, they were like, oh no, what are we going to do? He's going to declassify it. We got to do something. So I think that's probably what happened. And all of a sudden, these British officials and the ones from Australia, I'm pretty sure that was the second one, they all of a sudden were interested in what was going on over here and begging him not to declassify this. Now, I have a question about that because the FISA court is supposed to be this secretive court, and people aren't supposed to really know what goes on in it. But they knew, and these were officials from 2 other countries who knew about it. We didn't even know what was going on with a lot of it, but they evidently know what's under those redactions that we've not even seen yet. But they know. How do they know that if it's a secret court? You gotta ask yourself those kinds of questions. Anyway, at that time, Donald Trump did a couple of tweets. This was September 21st. I met with the DOJ concerning the declassification of various unredacted documents. They agreed to release them, but stated that so doing may have a perceived negative impact on the Russia probe. Also, key allies called to ask not to release. Therefore, the Inspector General, and then it goes on to the next one, has been asked to review these documents on an expedited basis. I believe he will move quickly on this and hopefully other things which he is looking at. I like those little hints he gives us like that. In the end, I can always declassify if it proves necessary. Speed is very important to me and everyone else. And that was back in September of 2018. So it still took forever, what I consider forever. And we still have not seen these declassified documents. But I think this was part of the plan because they knew there were a lot more things that had to go out first. And the stage is being set. I mean, you can just see it. I've talked about this before. Every time I talk about the puzzle, you've got this great big puzzle out there. And all of these little pieces, when I do a puzzle, the first thing I do is, the border. And I think a lot of people do that. And there are some times when you will pick up a puzzle piece that I bet you pick up 4, 5, 6, 7 times before you actually put it where it belongs. And you can see how it fits into the whole picture. Well, I think this is what's been going on because there are all these articles. I mean, these were a couple years ago where it was starting to connect things in, because this one was also back then, 2017. And it was all starting to connect things in, but we just didn't notice the connection yet. And now we're starting to see how more of it fits together. And we're seeing, look, this guy is connected to Adam Schiff. And there's going to be a lot more connections that we're going to see as it goes forth. And so on this right here, it's just an article that has to do with what Trump was going to do, that he was going to declassify, and then they begged him not to, and he said he wouldn't do it. But that's not necessarily what he said. He said he would do it when the time was right, if he needed to. Well, it's getting to the point where it's going to have to happen. And I think he probably knew all along it was going to do that. And here, the Times identified the British government as one of the 2 allies. And, the British government expressed grave concerns over the release of materials that make direct references to conversations between American law enforcement officials and Christopher Steele, according to a former American and former British government official. Okay, why would they express grave concerns over the release of materials that make direct references to conversations between them? Because Christopher Steele was not working for the GCHQ at the time. He was not working for MI6. He was a former MI6 agent, and he wasn't even working, supposedly wasn't working, with our own intelligence community at the time. So I just thought this was interesting. And again, this came out back then. I mean, you're talking September 23rd of 2018. So this was another piece that we saw, but we didn't really know where it fit in the puzzle yet. And so now we're starting to see, yeah, why were the Brits really getting so upset about it? Well, because they're named in the part of the FISA that's been redacted. And it's specific officials. I mean, these people were working together with the FBI, Obama's administration. All of them were working together to take down Trump. Yeah, isn't that amazing? And that is really kind of the definition of treason, isn't it? Where you have people within our own government who are working to take down our duly elected president. I can't see it being anything else. And I think it's going to be obvious to everyone when they see it. So I wanted to share that with you and give you a little bit of an overview on these. I will put the links down below so you can read the whole documents. But again, all of them are from like 2018 or 2017. You may have already read them, but I wanted to point them out to you. And this one I just thought was very interesting. I'm not sure what they talked about at this particular weekend conference, but wouldn't it have been interesting? Yeah. And it's just very strange that out of all people that they would have there, they bring in this Robert Hannigan, and then they also have Adam Schiff. I mean, why Adam Schiff? Why would they have the ranking member? Why wouldn't they invite somebody who was, like the chairman? But no, they wanted somebody who has Adam Schiff's perspective, I'm sure. Anyway, so that's the stuff I've got for you on this one. I know it's kind of short and everything, but I think there's starting to be a lot of connections between all these, and they all center around a plan to take down Trump. So that's what I've got for you on this one. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.